Okay, hopefully everybody can see that now. Yep, great. Okay, so we've got a few things to cover today. So I'm going to start by giving you a bit of an introduction to AI and LLMs, and how things are changing and how behavior is shifting. And then Dean will take you through some of the differences between traditional search and AI search, how AI crawls your website differently to search, and introduce you to your new storefront, which will be familiar. It's a Google My Business profile. We'll then talk through the importance of content, and then some practical things that you can do, like itineraries, digital PR, and local partnerships, to help you really win in this space. And then Dean will talk you through the importance of trust signals and EEAT. We'll go into that a bit more later, what that acronym means, before Ava takes us away with the demo. So a bit of a disclaimer before we jump in. Nobody has all of the answers yet when it comes to AI and search and how things are changing. It's a field that's evolving really quickly, and things change on a daily basis. So everything that we're talking to you about today are things that Dean and I have observed and learnt as we're going along. But by no means does it mean that this is the final piece, as things will keep changing. So just a quick intro to us. So I'm Natalie Wilson. I'm the founder and managing director here at Empire 9. I love the constantly changing environment that digital brings and the challenges that it gives. So yeah, a lifelong nerd who constantly enjoys this space. And we have Dean here with us. So Dean is an SEO with a love of coffee, animal documentaries, and behavioural science. And Dean is a particular fan of David Attenborough, so we hear a lot about that through the office. So first things first, what is AI? AI is a really broad term that covers lots of different technologies, from robotics and self-driving cars, right through to systems that analyze data, predict outcomes, and generate content. In everyday business and digital marketing, though, when we say AI, we're most usually talking about software that can learn from patterns, make recommendations, and automate decisions at machine speed. So practically, that means things like analyzing huge data sets in seconds, spotting trends that humans would miss, drafting content, optimizing ad spend, personalizing experiences, and answering questions on demand. When most people are talking about AI, they're talking about large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, or Claude. An LLM is a type of AI that's been trained on huge amounts of text. So this might be websites, books, articles, code. And so it learns how language works. At its core, it's not thinking or searching the internet. It's a prediction engine. So given the words so far, it predicts the most likely next word over and over again very, very well. That's why tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude can write content, summarize documents, answer questions, and even help with planning and analysis. The important thing to know is LLMs are powerful, but they do not know things the way that humans do. They don't have real-time awareness, and they can be confidently wrong, which is why humans still need to guide, verify, and apply judgment. The world's adopting AI at speed. So this graph here is from Google Trends. It shows the adoption, or the people searching for ChatGPT and AI over a period of time. So we can really see this heading up and to the right. And it's quite staggering how quickly that's happened. This is a worldwide chart, but it's happening closer to home. So this is a chart from Australia, and we're seeing exactly the same behaviours and patterns. And this is New Zealand. So we're keeping up with the trends, which is great. ChatGPT managed to hit 1 million users in just 5 days. For a little bit of context, Facebook took 10 months to get there, and Twitter took 2 years. So it's really speeding up some of this technology adoption. ChatGPT is still the #1 tool that people are turning to. So this is information out of the US, unfortunately not available for Australia and New Zealand. So we're seeing ChatGPT still holding its own in the top space. However, the ones to watch here are Gemini and Claude, who are making some pretty consistent ground. So there are some emerging winners. It's really important to know that even with charts and statistics like this isn't how most people are discovering things in the world. So we can still see that traditional search makes up about 80% or over 80% of people, how they discover things online. Even though ChatGPT, has got quite a number of users these days, to give some context to that, there are over 16 billion searches per day on Google. So some really quite staggering numbers, and it just kind of gives some context to what we're seeing and means that we're not overemphasizing some of these AI engines when we think about how to take a brand out to the world. Having said that, AI has infiltrated the Google search page. And Google's CEO has said that AI results will just be how search works in the future. In AI mode, it's here, it's in Chrome. So I don't know if any of you are using that at the moment. But what it means is that we're seeing a big shift in behavior. So we're seeing the rise of zero-click searches. 5 years ago, approximately 25% of Google search results ended without a click. However, by mid-2025, that's hit 65% overall. The reason for this is that Google is surfacing information on the search results page. So when you're searching for something, you'll be presented with an AI overview or featured snippets, possibly a knowledge panel, or a local pack with maps. So what's happening is Google's answering the question on the search results page, and people don't need to carry on and click through to websites. So questions answered, no click, no website visit. I've got a video here, which I'd recommend you watch in your own time. I won't play it now, but I think this is really interesting and it shows Google's vision for the future. And this is an AI assistant. So it really shows someone navigating the way around London using their phone and their personal assistant for help and advice. And there's not a single website in sight as they do that. So it's all served up through the assistant on the phone. And what we're really seeing is that AI is already shaping discovery, evaluation, and booking. The whole process is becoming more common to interact with AI agents as you go. So algorithms are now watching live flight prices, weather, and even your loyalty point balance to suggest the perfect moment to book. What this means for us as marketers is that what we used to consider as our traditional funnel with awareness, consideration, and conversion is really being disrupted. So the consideration phase or plan phase is now happening without us being in the room. So nobody's coming through to, or not as many people are coming through to websites at that stage of the journey. They're having whole conversations with AI engines or gathering all of their information from the search results page on Google before they make a decision to book. So the old playbook of rank well, get clicks, and nurture visitors is breaking down, and businesses now need to be the answer that AI serves up and not just one of the 10 blue links waiting to be clicked. So we're in a new reality. We do know that when people have come to a website through AI sources, that they often convert at 4 to 8 times higher rate than they would do from traditional search traffic. And that's because AI has really already done the research for them. So by the time they come to your site, they're not browsing, they're booking. So the goals have shifted. Less traffic doesn't mean less business. It means your content needs to be so clear, so specific, and so trustworthy that AI chooses you as the answer. You need to be the recommendation and not just a search result. So I'm going to hand over to Dean now, who's going to talk you through a little bit more about what that looks like and then some practical steps of what you can do.
Thank you, Natalie. I'll just take control of the presentation. Hopefully that's seamless once again. All right. So all of the search engines that you've been used to, most of them on the left, have evolved pretty slowly over time. Google, Bing, Yahoo. Actually, Yahoo uses Bing's results now, so it doesn't have its own search, even though it does have its own crawler. And DuckDuckGo. They've become less pixelated and grainy of the 90s and early 2000s. The maps look nicer. It's definitely a lot more visual these days, and all of the search results are becoming a lot more visible. But what's the difference with these newcomers? Perplexity, if you've used that, Copilot, that little diamond on the bottom is Gemini. Well, apart from the design aesthetic, which is more of a black muted, modern, sort of minimal feel, we're looking at context and meaning versus keywords generally. So old SEO, you would focus a lot on the keywords. You'd probably sprinkle them throughout the page, and that would be one of the ways that Google would pick up the meaning of the page. These days, and I have a good example from our own work in the agency. We rank generally pretty well for Google Ads, and a traditional search, that was great. In AI, we struggled a little bit, and that was to do with some of the context of what we were saying on the page. Internally, we call Google Ads management, but we had maintenance on the page for some reason. And that subtle difference really mattered, because if you think about those two words, maintenance, okay, it breaks, we fix it. We're keeping the lights on. Whereas management is more proactive. It's really looking forward, making sure that everything's working in the account the way it should be. Forward thinking versus, yeah, keeping the lights on and being very reactive. And after some small changes, the ranking really helped in AI. So I think copywriters rejoice. That is going to be something that's really, really important moving forward. So that's great. One thing that a lot of people don't realize about large language models is every single one of them has a knowledge cutoff. So the ChatGPT 5.2 in that little image there, it has a August 31st, 2025 cutoff. So if it's not going out and searching the internet, which we call RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation, then basically it's using its own data, and anything over that date is going to be wrong, likely, because it needs to go out and get fresh information. So why tourism gets hit harder a lot of the times than most is because if you're a new business that opened 8 months ago, it won't be in the training data. If you're a ski field that rebranded last year, the model still knows it by its old name. And so if you've changed pricing, availability, then it's not going to update unless it's going out and searching for that on the internet. So if you were a hidden gem on TikTok 6 months ago, and it's not in the training data, unless it's actually searching the internet, it's not going to be surfaced. So that's really interesting with large language models, is there is a hard cutoff in the training data. So also crawlability. Large language models, they don't just rely on training data. We talked a little bit about real-time crawlers, and they fetch answers the moment a user asks the question. So the bots read your website a little bit different than Googlebot from Google. So Google is and has really made a lot of strides. It renders the full page like a browser. So what you're seeing in the browser, what Googlebot's seeing, a lot of the time it sees JavaScript. So all of those little interactions that happen, images, menus, all of those interactive elements, it indexes those for ranking signals. Whereas a lot of these AI bots don't actually run JavaScript. So they only see the raw HTML. So it's just the raw text that you've got there. So if your key content loads dynamically, like a menu or a booking widget or reviews, and a lot of plugins do, especially review plugins, are dynamic, AI bots can in some cases see a blank page, especially if JavaScript is the whole website. So what AI bots are looking for is clear, structured text that they can extract easily as a direct answer for the user's query. So two types of AI crawlers exist at the moment. So you've got the training bots like GPT bot, and it collects content to build future knowledge, and also the search bots. So OpenAI, OAI search bot, and Perplexity. So they'll fetch your pages live to cite them in real time. So a lot of my work is making sure that all of these new bots are actually, able to be crawled and not being blocked by Cloudflare. It's sort of an interesting little, I guess. It's been interesting to see that pop up. Whereas in the past, if you had Google bots ordered, you were fine, and Bing bot as well. So that's great. Content freshness. This one, I think the main stat really tells a lot. 95% of pages that ChatGPT cites are less than 10 months old. Why could this be? Well, we talked about knowledge cutoffs in training and why bots love fresh content. So a lot of the time, if it doesn't have something in its training, it needs to go out and fetch it. And it's likely going to choose from the study from Webflow something that is fresh. That obviously is different by query. News, current events are going to need that a lot more than an answer that's evergreen. But it really tells quite a story that, 1 to 3 months, prime citation zone. And a lot of our work is also making sure that the pages are up to date for clients, and fresh content, new content is being loaded onto the website. So that's quite a big one. And AI-driven search, it's influencing bookings, right? So in this study, travelers leaned heavily on AI using a variety of tools inside the AI mode environment, so Google AI mode, to build confidence in their choices. And they expressed appreciation for options that were clear, definitive, and scannable, which makes sense. So basically, they described as not guessing what the answer could be. And once a decision was made, they moved to an external website to make an actual purchase. So Natalie mentioned the funnel was a bit disrupted, but it's nice that actually, in these studies, people are still coming to that website to make that final conversion, that purchase. And I think, users had a high confidence in the accuracy and usefulness of the information that was provided by Google AI mode, a 4.3 out of 5. So trusting the accuracy across all tasks. And I think that's going to be really important to have the information correct and current for the AI models to pull it and make sure that trust isn't eroded. So it's interesting and I'm sure some of you as well, you'll be able to and really like the results that are coming out of Google's AI overviews and AI mode as well. So where does Google, especially in its AI overviews and AI mode, pull information from? Well, all over the internet, but there's one place that you can control: your website. So this is a great example from Top 10 and Kaikoura. It has the AI overview, things to consider, dog-friendly policy. So if you plan to bring a dog, you must arrange this with the park in advance to ensure that they can accommodate your pet. Well, where is that? It's in the website content, and please note that dogs are allowed on sites only with prior arrangement. It's changed the wording slightly, but a lot of the times if you're looking for that, and if you see there's all those little sort of links that are grey in a sort of circle, you can see where a lot of those citations are coming from on websites and external sites as well. So if there's some FAQs that you could add or other features that will help guests, then definitely you should add them in. because you're helping the large language models help the guests. So, and obviously your website, a place that you can, customize, make your own. Really important that the content is correct and current. Cool. What we're looking at here is an AI overview, and we're looking at best skiing in Selwyn. It's pretty clean at the moment. I think there's going to be ads very shortly in AI mode and AI overviews. Natalie's smiling and laughing a little bit there. It's coming. It definitely is coming.
We had a
But
fist pump
yeah,
from Crackyburn over there.
yeah, yeah, big fan. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about content being king a little bit. When you type best, you'll likely see blog posts. Not normally at this stage, Google's looking at blog posts for these kind of searches, and we see christchurchnz.com, selwyn.nz, which is fantastic, and AA New Zealand. So if you can also be on those external sites, do some searches for keywords, or I think keywords or topics that really skiers would be typing in. See what's coming up, see if there's the availability to have citations from those sites. Obviously, Selwyn NZ is gonna be the main one that we're focused on today, and there's a cool presentation at the end that really helps that. So take full advantage, definitely. Yeah, top tip: update Selwyn.nz. So when AI search engines look for answers about Selwyn, they favor, and we just saw an example of it, high authority, well-structured sites with lots of backlinks, consistent content, and the Selwyn District tourism site, selwyn.nz, it ticks all of those boxes. So, which means that listing there is likely to be cited higher in general than your own website a lot of the time, just because of that authority. So keep updated seasonal offers and events. So AI search bots crawl in real time. So stale listings mean missed recommendations, opening hours, pricing, booking links, descriptions, imagery, all of those things. New experiences, what's happening over summer, when are you starting your season for winter. Think of Selwyn.nz as your shared shop front in an AI world. So keep it fresh and AI will recommend you. We'll go into Google's AI mode. It's really clean. One of the things to see here is that it's an interesting way that Google's doing it. It's a search engine with a large language model on top. You can see AI mode, and you can actually choose Gemini's 3 models, so fast or pro. And yeah, it's a hybrid LLM with search algorithms. I won't go into that too much. I could get a little bit nerdy, but I won't for brevity. So Selwyn is home to the Selwyn 6, a collection of 6 unique ski fields. And if we look at Porter's Alpine Resort and Mount Cheeseman for this example, those pictures and that information comes from your Google business profile. So Google business profiles becoming more and more important. We're going to see that a little bit later on in the next few slides as well, that they're not just on Google these days, but super important. Google knows the type of riders who the slope might suit best. And even has a Selwyn sort of ski area comparison if you were to do that search. It has family messaging, and it does have Craigieburn and Broken River listed under best for advance and off-piste enthusiasts. So it's really able to, it knows what riders want. It knows, sort of, and I think, you could also influence that a little bit with the messaging and the Google business profile and the website, who you're for, making sure that, what you're saying and getting, the sort of skiers for your ski fields, I guess, intermediate, advanced, who's coming, making sure that Google's able to read and interpret that the best it can. Where AI gets its answers, it's an interesting one. AI doesn't treat every website equally, and research shows that the top 15 domains absorb 68% of all AI citations, which is a staggering number. Wikipedia is the #1 source for ChatGPT, almost half of its citations, and a top source in AI overviews for Google as well. YouTube now appears in 16% of all large language model answers, and #1 social source across Gemini and AI mode. And Reddit's really come up in the world, 40% of all LLM citations, and also dominates Perplexity if you've used that search engine. I think part of the reason for that is it's real people with real answers that have opinions and things that are, I guess, the freshness side of things. It's changing all the time, and so that's part of it. It's really helpful, and people can get some answers that they might not find on other websites. So Reddit is becoming and is important. So we're going to look at travel and tourism specifically. Wikivoyage is one that it's sort of a hidden gem almost. So Wikipedia's little travel sibling, but I think it's sort of a go-to citation for destination level questions. And if Selwyn has a Wikivoyage page, what it says matters. TripAdvisor, I think don't sleep on TripAdvisor as well. It's frequently cited for those recommendation queries as well, those best near things to do in sort of queries. So I think those two are hidden gems, and yeah, definitely look at those if you're not already on those, keeping those up to date. Does that information match your website, etc.? So really important. Okay, so Google AI mode, where's it going? This is an interesting video, and it's got some new agentic capabilities in AI mode. This is in America at the moment, but it sort of gives us a window into what might be coming to New Zealand shortly. In this video, you can see you can actually book reservations just from Google's AI mode itself. So there's no click through, it just handles the process. So I'm just going to play this. Hopefully it works. And it does have some audio as well. So I'll make sure that it's not too loud, hopefully. Really interesting, right? I think, and Google looks to be starting with finding restaurant reservations and expanding to local services, appointments, and event tickets. So, if you know about search labs, you can have a look at what's happening in different places. Search labs is sort of where you can have a look at what's happening across search and what Google's experimenting with. It's quite interesting. So this is definitely something that's probably coming. So have that on your radar. If there are separate booking services that have this availability, would be definitely good to get in line for. So Google Business Profiles, your new online storefront. So this is our Google Business Profile. Google Business Profiles, it's kind of funny. We put fix your Google Business Profile immediately, like drop everything now and do it on this page, because it's pretty close to reality. And yeah, I think Natalie will definitely agree. Because Google's embedding all of these mini local packs into the AI responses, and users are interacting with them before even seeing traditional results, a lot of the time they're actually above all of the blue links and other features, it isn't just a local listing anymore. It's sort of your main storefront now, not the website. So if you go to business.google.com and if you sign up and can view your Google business profile, then you can edit the profile, the website, links, booking links, photos, posts, have a look at the performance. You can edit the products and services. If you have a shop on Shopify, etc., it can be linked. A booking link, question and answers. Google's actually doing something a little bit different with questions and answers, pulling that out, having a large language model answer that, and some reviews. We're going to talk a little bit about reviews because they are super important. But before that, I did say before that Google Business Profiles are not just for Google Search or Maps. So this is ChatGPT. And if we look at this search in particular, the 4.7 stars, Broken River Ski area, all of that information, and if you were to hover over directions, that is to the Google Business Profile. So it's tied to visibility in a lot more places than ever before. And so that's part of the reason why we're saying, get it in line now, because it's just visibility is incredible on Google Business Profiles. It's cool that the web sources a lot of Selwyn.nz there, with all of the different skiing options. So it's fantastic to see. Google Business Reviews. Reviews are very, very important. In our research, I would say Google Business Profiles and Google Reviews are one of the highest ranking factors. Not just the number of reviews, but also sort of the recency and frequency of reviews. So I don't want to underestimate how important Google reviews are, and I guess reviews in general, if we open that up, it's important to have them on Facebook and TripAdvisor. But if I was to choose, it would definitely be Google as the first port of call for reviews, but fantastic to have them in other places. It just shows such a trust signal, and to have that and people searching for your brand is huge. So we've seen a lot of success, and I've definitely seen it when I've done studies on review volume for places and then using a tracker to see the differences in ranking across different keywords that we're tracking. So if you go to ask for reviews in your Google Business Profile dashboard, you can actually see a review link. So you can give people a direct link and a nice QR code there that makes it easy. So definitely very important, Google reviews. But is social important for your Google Business Profile? Well, spoilers, yes. Google has a dedicated social media update section on your profile, particularly on mobile. So it should give you an indication that, it really is part of, I guess, Google's overall strategy to see, hey, can I trust this business? Are they updating things? What are they doing on their socials? Are people posting about them? Are they the best citation that I can give the user? Are they the best option? Because at the end of the day, if someone Googles something, they want to satisfy that user, and so they want to make sure. And one of the ways that they can do it is seeing what's happening on socials. So Annabelle on our team and I, especially in, I guess, the last sort of 6 months to a year, have really been working a lot closer together. But Google can automatically pull your recent posts from Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and display them directly on the Google Business Profile. And so you can actually set the URLs in your dashboard and put them in there. And why it matters, keeps the profile looking fresh without you having to manually create a Google update. What I would also say is if you're running events or you've got other things happening, definitely still create posts. Posts are still great to show people that, hey, we've got this great thing on, but also if Google's not showing some of these social media updates, you could use it as a post, and then someone might see that they're looking to go skiing, they see your brand, and then, oh, that's some really interesting content. Maybe I'll go over to Instagram and have a look further. And so it really can also help you with gaining more followers and getting likes and getting more engagement on the socials as well. So that's really cool to see. So do your main keywords have a short videos tab in search? This was an interesting one, actually. And I think there's a real opportunity for ski fields in Selwyn to dominate this. Because in this slide, the red highlights are Australian videos, which we do not want. I didn't even realize that Selwyn Snow Resort, there was a Selwyn Snow Resort in Australia. So there's some fantastic New Zealand videos, but those two are right at the top. And so let's kick them off. We can get some fantastic videos, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and yeah, get some engagement. So yeah, I think short videos a little bit of a missed opportunity. So hopefully you can create some cool stuff to move those videos off in place of your own. So how can we prepare? Well, content is still king. So high quality, unique content is your best sales tool in an AI world. And for that, AI search needs content where it can confidently reference and summarize it. So useful, answers real traveler questions clearly, directly. I know we've all, back in the day, looked for a particular soup recipe, and it tells you all about it before it actually gives you the recipe. None of that anymore. Direct, specific, structured, using headings, FAQs, lists, short answer sections. Experience, we're going to talk about this a little bit as part of EEAT later, but first-hand knowledge, photos, stories, recommendations, and easy to extract. So the clear takeaway is if you give AI clear facts, not your vague brochure style copy. And what are the content types for AI? FAQs on key courses, accommodation or off-season events, blog posts answering seasonal or planning recommendations or planning questions. So some best of listicles, local recommendation guides, comparison content, intermediate versus advanced skiing terrain. So yeah, some interesting comparison guides, maybe team stories showing real local experience. This is how I like to ride this particular jump. This is, I'm getting these sort of speeds, things that can't easily be replicated. Original data, review insights, or visitor trend content. I think, if you get, hey, it's interesting. We're getting more Canadians this year for some reason, or sort of getting those specific stats and original data. So not just creating content to rank, creating content good enough for AI to use as a source. So partnerships. The good thing is there's lots of people on this call learning alongside you with trusted sites, and that's a great thing. I think one of the fantastic things about Selwyn and its people that we are great at collaboration in general, and I think very happy to help. So I'm from Selwyn, grew up in Dunsandel, and when I've been to the Ellesmere A&P show, for example, if I've asked if a stall has something and they don't, then oh yeah, no worries. Jim over there by the sharing competition does, and I think it's is a great community. So partnerships AI systems don't just look at what you say about yourself, they look at what other trusted sites say about you. And so ask partner operations to include you in their recommended nearby winter activities, create joint itineraries, accommodation, restaurants, breweries. So see if there's any way to sort of get that crossover. Sponsorship of local clubs and events. You're likely already doing this. School fairs, community initiatives, where a website link is included. Getting listed on RTOs, council, chamber of commerce. So all of these fantastic things, partnerships, and I think turn collaborations into blog posts or guides. There's lots we can do in this space. Digital PR is another way to earn online coverage and mentions and links. So still thinking about, it's not just what we're saying about ourselves, it's what others are saying. Have some examples for ski fields of what could work for blogs or angles. So the jumps riders love the most in Selwyn, that could be also a collaboration between a few different ski fields that have some interesting, interesting courses. Visits from Canadian up X%. Here's why they're coming to Selwyn ski fields. The cheapest, most expensive weekends to visit. So I'm sure you all have insider knowledge of other things that are happening and when would actually be a good time to visit. A few low-hanging digital PR ideas, beginner mistakes guide to help you for the 2026 season. A seasonal visitor forecast, you could make it fun. One of my ideas for the last talk was the visitor forecast being bikes. Some cafes, you know exactly when it's getting warmer and there's a ton of bikes outside your cafe. So yeah. Partner with food, brewery, event operators for a local itinerary. So yeah, it could be a skiing itinerary. It could be, partnership with the best places to go after your skiing adventure. So original stats, if you're pitching news outlets, visitor volume, years operating, if you have a significant, we've been operating for 60 years, or number of rentals versus people owning their own gear, talking to that, a change of your safety record, awards, whether they are local, regional or New Zealand wide or international. If you have any awards, then definitely make the most of those as well. So I think Natalie mentioned it a little bit about being reference worthy, not just rank worthy. If your content is thin, provides little value and is stuffed with keywords, I think like I mentioned, the old way of SEO is definitely out. If it's a natural length, shows that you have unique experience and answers users' questions and concerns, then you're more likely to be referenced. And we're going to talk a little bit about EEAT. And while it's not a ranking factor, Google has definitely emphasized that websites that display experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, so EEAT, will have a better chance of ranking because they align with the search quality rater guidelines. It's an interesting thing that Google actually uses humans still in its manual rating of websites. And I think the book or the manual, I haven't read it all. It's about 180 pages, but it's a clear guide on what raters are looking for. So yeah, I think the takeaway, reference-worthy content is more likely to attract backlinks from other authoritative sources as well that want to provide high-quality information to their users. So, what is EEAT? We're going to start with how you can show it as a tourism operator. I didn't mention before, but Google's AI systems and the human raters that train them are increasingly skilled at sniffing out that sort of generic content. And for a tourism operator, EEAT isn't just about SEO, it's about proving you're a real part of the local landscape. So here is how you can practically apply each pillar to your business. So we're going to start with experience. Basically, I have actually been there, or I am here. This is the newest E and vital for tourism to combat that generic AI travel blog. I'm sure you've seen that. Everyone's seen a blog that you read it and you think, oh, have they just done a generic prompt in an AI and posted that directly? I know you probably all have. It seems like, people are trying to get that traffic and clicks. But you know, you have intimate knowledge of the region and your specific ski fields and businesses. So, first person narratives using we, our guides. So, no generic descriptions, specific local anecdotes, original imagery. I know it's hard sometimes to get that high quality imagery, but if you can, try not to use stock photos. Um, the metadata behind them proves the primary source content. So if you can, use your own high quality images and videos. And those nitty gritty details, secret parking spots, specific shoe recommendations, these goggles are better because micro weather patterns that only a local operator would know. Um, so experience, expertise. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Quite close to experience, but it's verifiable credentials. So if you've got Qualmark logos, tourism industry Aotearoa, membership, uh, author bios, uh, every guide or post, if it could have a face and a bio. Example, written by Sarah, lead trainer with 12 years experience guiding new skiers and snowboarders on the mountain. One thing you might not know, Sarah has an X Games Big Air medal from her time as a professional competing for New Zealand. I just made that one up, but wouldn't that be cool if that was the case? I would look at that and go, cool, she's my trainer. I'm going there. I'm getting that training. Um, in-depth content, the why and how, the geology of the area, not just the what. I think the main takeaway for this one is, what can I add to make this more helpful? Authoritativeness. Uh, Others recognize me as a leader. We talked about it's not just what you say about yourself, but it's what others say. And your reputation in the wider digital world is primarily measured through external signals. So local backlinks, securing those links from RTOs, local business directories, media mentions. We talked a little bit about PR if you're referenced in a national or local news. And we looked at some of the ways that you could potentially pitch news outlets. The good thing is, yeah, Selwyn Times, I think, does have an online version, which is cool. Industry awards, list and display your wins and nominations. I think the main takeaway is, if you've got something like that, displaying it on the website. It's a massive trust signal to both users and AI models. So if it's not displayed, people don't know about it. AI doesn't know about it to tell people about it. So it's definitely one of the big takeaways for this slide, authoritativeness. And trustworthiness, trust. You can safely book with me. So it's the foundation of the framework, basically, vital for your money or your life transactions. So YMYL it's a Google quality guideline concept that it basically defines search qualities where bad answer could cause harm to someone's health or finances or safety or well-being. So yeah, you can safely book with me. We audit our safety. We have had external auditors come through, and when you're on the mountain, you're safe with us. Transparency, so displaying physical address, local phone number, New Zealand business number, if that's applicable. Review management, so responding professionally to all reviews. I know sometimes it's hard when the one-star reviews come in, but handle them well, and that builds more trust. And also on the 5-star reviews, it's good to have all 5-star reviews, but if there's a few people that, hey, you can't please everyone, and if you respond well, that also looks really good to people that are looking through your reviews. And safety and security, so HTTPS on your website and link directly to your health and safety policies or Adventure Mark certifications, etc. So this will also be distributed. It is a AI-ready checklist. So I won't run through it now, but it has some really good things for your website, listings and profiles, your wider presence, and content that AI loves. So we've put that together for you. So if you have some feedback on the workshop, then we'd love a review. I did say Google reviews are really important, so we would love if you did have some feedback to post that. And also look out for our next workshop on social media. So there should be some more details coming soon. Natalie, do you want to say anything on the next workshop or anything around that? There is something coming.
There's definitely something coming, and it will be a social media workshop. We don't have all of the topics and content for that arranged at the moment, but Natalie Cahill will be sending out more information. So keep an eye on that when it hits your inboxes.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Any questions? Hopefully I made it easy to digest. I know there's lots of nuances with what's happening in AI at the moment. So yeah, if there's anything that you'd like to ask, Natalie or myself.
Actually, I just have a really quick question, second time around seeing this. There seems to be a lot that you're talking about in order to make the business or the website crawlable. And if that's the right terminology, is there a disconnect between making your website so that it's going to be high up in the rankings and easily found and stuff versus how it's going to look or feel for humans that know it and want to come to it to find out the latest information? If that makes sense.
Yeah, Natalie's got. Shall I let you start with this one?
Yeah, I think this is a really interesting one. And realistically, we need to make sure that our websites suit both human users and bot users. So I think there's a stat now that says that bot users actually make up over 50% of web traffic. So how that all looks is changing quite significantly. So we need to make sure that, yeah, the website is compelling for a human user who comes through, but also we've talked about that funnel disruption and things happening in AI engines instead. We have to make sure that that source of truth or that information that those engines are getting is correct and appealing for them as well. So I think there's a real trick at the moment to creating websites or being a designer in that space to make sure that you can meet both needs pretty well. But yeah, I mean, we have to make sure that we're showing in these engines because the future is changing, and there is even a possibility that bookings will start happening inside of these engines. So the likes of ChatGPT are exploring partnerships with Expedia and those types of providers. So I think we have to prepare for that world and that big shift. But we're in a transition phase where the website still has a job to do with a lot of people. So yeah, I don't know if that answers the question, but that's kind of how I see it.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah. And we do have specific ways of seeing what the website is blocking and what it's not. Sometimes I'll put different crawlers through and they'll get blocked for whatever reason. But yeah, I guess it's part of the job now to make sure that all of ChatGPT, Claude, whoever it is, the user, if they're asking a question, can actually get that up-to-date information from the website. So it's definitely becoming more, and it's an important part of SEO. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was just going to ask. Yeah, thanks so much for a great presentation. It's super detailed. It's really good. How important do you think blogs are? Because I've been doing the socials for Craigieburn for quite some time, and we've got a really good website, but we don't do any blogs. My other business, which I'm an IT recruiter, I've got Sunstone Talent. I've been writing a blog a month for 13 years, and that seems to have worked quite well. But the challenge, of course, at Craigieburn is it's all volunteers. To do a regular blog's probably a little bit difficult. Maybe we could do, put some, kind of season reports into the air, or maybe chop in some posts. But how important do you think blogs are?
I'll start with this one. Natalie's smiling. So we have seen, yeah, and you probably saw it in part of the presentation. Even sometimes what we see is mentions of a business in blogs, and for some keywords, the blog will be mentioned and the business will be mentioned pretty much directly tied to that blog. It's quite interesting. I think blogs have become a lot more important just because of that information gain, especially. And yeah, we are definitely trying to content is king at the moment. I think if you can especially get some statistics or things that the large language models and users find helpful or interesting, it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, maybe we've got quite a good newsletter that goes out, Towline, it's called, and I think that must be it's a quarterly, I think. And it's really good content, and someone kind of owns that. But yeah, maybe we should just be putting that straight into the blog, right? That's right.
Yeah,
Content's there.
absolutely. We talk a lot about the rule of three when it comes to content, and actually that's slightly dated now. We should be using content in as many places as possible. But when you're putting the effort into producing content, say for a newsletter, we say use it in at least 3 places. So that might be a blog, on a website, the newsletter, and then on your social media channels as well, so that you are getting the most ROI out of that piece of content possible. So, it is quite a hefty time investment to do good content, even with AI tools these days. So yeah, use it as widely as you can to get the most from it.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Now, that's something we kind of mentioned, but that's really consolidated that. So I'll have a word with our web designer and just, yeah, make sure we get that going.
Yeah, and it's just a great way to create fresh content. So as we saw the chart with how often content is cited based on how fresh it is, it's
Yeah.
just a really good way to create something new and something fresh on the website. But it does need to be helpful or have a slightly different angle. Otherwise, you run the risk of it being thin content or not
Yeah.
valuable. Yeah,
Just a bit of
going the other way.
tweaking. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, cool. Any other questions? Okay, should we hand over to Eva to take us through the next demo? Ooh, I can't hear you there. Can anyone else hear?
No.
No. We're having a microphone issue.
Yeah.
Dean, do you want to stop sharing as well so that when Eva comes back, she can take over the screen?
Yep. Perfect.
Hi, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. All good. I'll share my screen then. Good. Go. Thank you guys for having me. I'll be filling in for Navanka today, so please forgive me if I don't have quite the technical understanding as he does. Good. So as you've just heard, AI discovery is changing the way people find and choose experiences. What I'm going to show you now is how we're applying that thinking inside Selwyn.nz through their AI guide. We've been working with the Selwyn District Council on the AI guide and the AI layer that supports the visitor discovery on the Selwyn website. For quite a long time, digital marketing has focused heavily on winning the click. Now that does still matter, but we care about being found, but the way visitors search and plan has started to change. A visitor may not just search ski Selwyn. They might ask something more specific, such as, we're a family from Christchurch, new to skiing, with 2 kids under 10. Where should we start? It's not just a keyword, it's a situation. So the job changes. It's not only about getting seen, it's about giving the visitor enough confidence to take the next step. Keywords find pages, context finds fit. This is the biggest shift so far. Keywords are still useful, yes, but AI-assisted discovery is not just looking for a keyword match. It's trying to understand the fit. If someone says they have young kids, they're new to skiing, they want something easy and are traveling from Christchurch, the system needs to be able to understand which option is actually suitable. As you can see through the table, there's just some comparisons through traditional SEO and AI-assisted discovery. But at the moment, it's more focused on the best fit rather than the best page. Your listing is not just a text anymore, it is an evidence pack. This is the takeaway. The system needs facts: what, where, when, cost, access, and facilities. It also needs the fit. Who is this best for? And it needs a difference. Why should you choose this over another option? Lastly, it needs an action. What should the visitor do next? Having all of these helps AI to recommend you confidently on a system. Good. The difference between a weak signal and a strong signal. A weak signal says, we offer a great service and a range of memorable experiences. Now that does sound nice, but it also sounds like it could describe anybody. A stronger signal says, a family-run farm experience, 10 minutes from Darfield, best for families with children aged 5 to 12 with hands-on animal feeding, wet weather options, and easy camper van parking. That gives the visitor something useful. It gives the system something useful too. It tells us who it's for, where it is, what makes it suitable, and why it might be the right choice for the right user. Good. And if you guys bear with me for a second, I'll give you guys a live demo. Go. Can you all see the Selwyn website? Go. So I've just put this prompt in there. I'm planning a solo beginner ski trip in Selwyn this winter. What are the best beginner-friendly options, and roughly how much should I budget? Go. Go. There we go. So it's given 2 of the main, probably 2 of the best options. We've got Porters and Cheeseman, as well as it's got the beginner packages. It's got some rough prices. And then it also tries to break it down into what you get with each option. And then it also offers the Smiles tour, which I didn't know about until a couple of days ago, which seems like a good deal. But one important part we wanted to highlight is that it offers to create a personalized itinerary for your trip based on these activities. So if I just quickly go, sorry, one sec. Quickly go, can you turn that into a simple 2-day itinerary with beginner ski options, places to stay, food stops, and estimated costs? Go. Oh yeah, it's also got these highlighted there. Go. 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 Yeah, so it's given morning, afternoon, evening, and obviously you can message back and say, hey, I don't want to do this part, or can you add this part as well? So it's completely customizable, but it's just giving you a rough itinerary based on the limited information I've given. Day 2 as well. And it's also got an option for you to share your itinerary. So you can either send it to yourself or you can send it to your family and friends. There you go. And so it just back to the slideshow now. Go. So what we've built with Selwyn, it's not just a chatbot. The AI guide is an AI-assisted visitor discovery layer. It uses the Selwyn.nz content to answer the visitor's questions, create summaries, and build itineraries. But the more interesting part is the context. When a visitor interacts with the guide, the system can start to understand what they're interested in, what they're trying to plan, and where they may be in the decision journey. If someone keeps asking about family activities, food stops, wet weather options, or short trips from Christchurch, that content can help shape better recommendations. So the better the operator content is, the better the visitor experience becomes. Go. Most businesses can say they offer memorable experiences, yeah? But memorable to who? In what situation? What time of the year? And for what type of visitor? That's where being specific matters. When you say best for couples wanting a quiet half-day experience, 15 minutes from Lincoln with local wine tasting, garden views, and bookable weekend sessions, the fit becomes clear. That then helps the visitor decide. It helps the system recommend, and it helps Selwyn tell a stronger regional story. Go. Righty, these are some of the early signals from the AI guide so far. We're seeing chats, continued conversations, and thousands of recommendations being generated. But the important part is not only the volume, it's what it tells us. This is visitor intent data. It helps us see what visitors are asking for, what they're interested in, how different themes connect, such as skiing, food, nature, all of those things. That is a much richer than only knowing somebody viewed a page. Go. Go. And to close, this is a bigger opportunity. Selwyn.nz is becoming more than a destination website. It's becoming an intelligence layer for the region. Over time, this can help build a richer view of what visitors are interested in, what they're trying to plan, and how different operators match those needs. For operators, that changes the role of content. Your listing is not just there to be read, it's there to be understood, matched, and recommended. So the question is no longer just, are we listed? The better question is, are we giving the system enough evidence to understand where we fit? Good. Good. Thank you for listening to that presentation. Good.
Thanks, Ava. Does anyone have any further questions today?
Oh, that was really interesting, Ava. What's your underlying AI tool that you're using for that? Oh, I can't hear you there.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Oh, I can now. Yes.
Yeah,
What AI tool are you using?
Sorry, all the questions I might have to get Navanka to get back to you for those because I don't quite understand the system, but he's got the best understanding. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's cool. So your company has integrated that into the Selwyn site?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, great. No, that's really cool. And really nice to have that interactivity with the user. It's
Yeah,
really cool.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
been
nice
So
one.
Paul, it's kind of important also that because it gets that information from our site, we really need to make sure that any information, any updates, any events you've got, let me know so that we can get that updated and that just helps with that, coordination between the two businesses, and it's will make it more easily found.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I believe
absolutely.
it does a crawl I think once a week. So it'll obviously got a little bit of time, but it should be regularly updated if you guys keep it updated as well.
Karen, to your point about, keeping you updated, like what is the best way to keep updated and all of that kind of stuff? Because everything's, like we're all volunteers, we're all, kind of working working other jobs at the same time, like, you know, it is quite hard to sort of manage all of this sort of stuff. How do we do this?
Yeah, I totally get that. Look, if you have a newsletter or something like that that comes out, make sure that we're on the mailing list for that. If you've got an event, just try and sort of think, you know, when you're going to say, oh, we're going to be putting it on our Facebook page, often we'll try and keep an eye on that, or if you tag Selwyn NZ in that, then we can pick up that information and I can get in touch with you to find out a bit more about it. I fully understand when you're volunteers, it is hard, and you know it's hard enough just keeping your own information up to date. So definitely just try and keep us on the radar for, as I said, tag us into things that you think would be relevant, or even not. You know, there might be an opportunity that we're going to be doing a blog, or that we've got an old blog that we could resurrect, and we might send it to say, look, can somebody just cast a quick eye over it to make sure it's up to date. The richer we can have our content, the more likely it is to be picked up and for you to be found, which will be fantastic.
That's great. And then in terms of like when it comes to tagging, is it you know, like Ski Selwyn specific, or is it the Selwyn like what's sort of the best tags?
Both.
And right, okay.
Both, yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's super. I mean, it really just, we need to kind of start doing it just on everything, don't we?
And once you start,
is that Selwyn?
Sorry.
Is that Selwyn NZ and Ski Selwyn? Okay. Thank you.
Either one of those will come through to us, and then we can pick it up. And if for some reason it hasn't been picked up, fire off an email, or if you think about it. But we try and keep a pretty close eye on all your content so that we can try and keep up to date with that too. And Stu's great for helping out with that as well.
Thank you. That was, yeah, that's good. Just getting it ingrained in the memory, isn't it?
Yeah.
And in time, so that you guys can actually do things with it as well, because it sort of feels like, you know, it's always quite a reactive thing or a last minute thing, or you know, all of that kind of stuff, isn't it? So it's trying to give you guys helpful information in a timely manner as well. So yeah.
Thank you.
Great. Do we have any further questions tonight? No? Okay. We will be making this recording available through Karen, and we'll also send across the deck so you've got that checklist and any other information that you need as well. But yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any further questions. And thank you all for tuning in and for giving up your evenings to come and talk with us about AI.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. It was really interesting.
Well, thank you.
Thanks
so much. Can
Okay,
anyone hear me? Hello,
Bye.
can anyone hear me?
Oh,
Yes.
Yes.
thanks
Oh, my
for Stu.
God. I've been trying to say something, but I just wanted to, just before you go, we've got some resource that's jumping into this and updating all the packages and the pricing and all the events. So watch out. And we've done a whole lot of work on that already, and Nicole's going to be picking up on it. And this is just the perfect sort of window to get that going. And all that content will be loaded and updated into Ski Selwyn. So please, when you get an email from Nicole asking for an update or any further information, just hit reply, whatever you want to, and it'll get put up there and updated. We've got another big blog coming as well. We're going to refresh all the blogs we've got, and we've got a ton of really good written articles from Anna Keeling and Sam Masters, very recognizable people. So that's all sitting there ready to go. And this not just from last season. This is like 3 or 4 winters we've been doing this. So it's really good. We've also got some fantastic footage coming out of the Alpine Odyssey Aotearoa, with some film clips coming through directly related to Ski Selwyn. and so that's going to be put out there as well. So thank you very much. This has been really good, Dean and Natalie. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Stu.
Thank you, Stu.
Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Thanks,
All right,
everybody.
nice.
Exciting
Good night,
times
everybody.
ahead.
everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks.